up, you guys? Welcome back to Second Take. It's Vishwa here, and today it'll be a much shorter video than usual, and I'm going to be discussing why Marko Simonovic, if I'm saying his name right, is a future NBA star. And in today's video, I'm going to be discussing Marko's basketball career as a whole so far and his current basketball status, and then I'm going to be explaining why I personally believe that he is a future star in the NBA based on a good amount of information. I'll also be talking about how much he can impact the Chicago Bulls, the team he was drafted by, and the team's future as well in brief. Now, if you guys consistently watch our videos, you know that there are a pretty good amount of Chicago Bulls content that we've uploaded in comparison to the other teams in the league, but that's just because number one, it seems to be the case that you guys like the Bulls videos much more, and two, the player we're discussing today, Marko Simonovic, truly does have special talent which I believe can become a star player. Before we get into the video, please smash that like button and remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I promise you will not regret it, and let's get straight into the video. By the way, in any case I may be mispronouncing his name, I'm just going to keep it short at Marko. But anyway, he is a 6'11", 220-pound big man who currently plays the center position for the KK Mega Basket, also known as the Mega Soccer Bet team, located in Serbia as part of the Adriatic Basketball Association, which is also known as the ABA. There isn't really much of a credible source on his backstory before his professional career, but there is a lot to take out of his current tenure in the ABA. He originally started playing pro basketball with the Siena youth team, where he didn't really get much playing time, but he did manage to put up 5 points and 3 boards the limited 11 minutes he was given per game. But he then transferred to Petro Olympia, another club where he did show some steady improvement, but it was in his first year with the Mega Baymax team, or also known as the Mega Soccer Bet team, like I said, where he really caught the attention of NBA scouts and teams. Last season, he averaged 16 points, 7.5 rebounds, an assist, steal, and a block, shooting 31% from three-point range, 50% overall, and 81% from the foul line. According to a scouting report, Marko was seen as a mobile big man out of Montenegro, and his physical profile and his shooting ability is what really attracted scouts. He dominated the youth leagues that he played in, as in 2017, he finished second in rebounds and third in scoring for the Under-18 European Championship in Slovakia. He would continue to be a constant paid presence with the Mega Baymax and perform excellently. As for how Marko is expected to do in the NBA, he has excellent size for a center, he's light on his feet, runs the floor very well, and he'd be a really lethal threat in the pick and roll and pick and pop situation with floor spacing ability, and he crashes the boards frequently as well for putback. I mean, if you just look at these highlights, he's so versatile on the court with his all-around ability, even playing like a guard at many times. His only weaknesses were that he wasn't as dominant of a post scorer and didn't really have a lot of moves in that department, but most of the improvement in that category comes as he puts on more weight and builds more muscle, as he's only 220 pounds. His other weaknesses would be his defense against quicker perimeter players in the NBA. But unlike previous European prospects, his rim protecting was actually one of his strengths, in addition to his floor spacing, running the floor, and just being an overall offensive threat. Now we'll get to his NBA career, and in the beginning of the season, the Chicago Bulls drafted Marko with the 44th pick in the second round, in addition to their first round pick, Patrick Williams. According to the vice president of the Chicago Bulls, Arturas Karnisovas, who I'll talk more on it a bit, when discussing his reasoning behind selecting Marko, he stated that Marko is a 7-footer that can handle and shoot. He's very versatile, he can pass, run the floor, has a high basketball IQ, and he plays with pace and a very high motor. If you take a look around the NBA, players fitting this mold are pretty much guys coveted by NBA teams, not only as a unicorn type of player, but also having additional skills such as passing and ball handling. The most prominent example is current MVP candidate Nikola Jokic, but there's also others like legend Dirk Nowitzki, Kristaps Porzingis, Nikola Vucevic, Lauri Markkanen, Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, Nemanja Bjelica, and rookie Aleksej Pokusevski. The common theme with all of these guys, and if you can pretty much name any stretch big in the NBA, is that they play significant roles on their respective teams. But anyway, I'll dive into that topic a bit later. But anyway, for reasons not known to us, AK decided to stash Marko overseas for at least another year. It could be for him to develop more, or the fact that the Bulls had a lot more front court material, or other reasons not known to us. But in this year, Marko has continued to impress in the ABA, putting up 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. Something he didn't do much of in his previous year was his improved three-point shooting that has drastically improved from 31 to 37% from the field, and the 4 assists, which have taken a huge improvement as well, delivering some spectacular performances along the way. Now I'll be getting into why I believe he can be a star in the NBA, and also incorporating the Bulls' future a bit as well. As I mentioned earlier, Arturas Karnisovas was the one who drafted Marko last year with the second round pick, but guess who else he drafted about 5 to 6 years ago with the second round round pick just 3 picks earlier than Marko. Wouldn't you know it, Nikola Jokic. I'm not saying Marko will ever be anything like Jokic, but if you really take a deep dive, both players played in the same league before coming into the NBA, and they were drafted around the same position in their respective drafts. They're both big men, and all by the same guy, Arturas. AK has also proven to be one of the best executives in the NBA, as look as what he's done with the Denver Nuggets, building a strong foundation of guys like Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr., and all the other guys that the Nuggets currently have, and the Nuggets are also currently among title contending teams. A big reason AK is that big of a mastermind of a GM is also because of how well he drafts, not missing out on any key players. He has hit on all the guys I just mentioned with Denver, and he's already done that in Chicago in his brief stint, selecting Patrick Williams, who has gotten off to an impressive start in his rookie season. He's also traded bad picks from previous management, like as Wendell Carter for another unicorn star, Nikola Vucevic, who we did upload a video on earlier. So from this knowledge, it already seems surefire that AK knew exactly what he was doing, and Marko will definitely be at least a solid player in the league, especially coached by Billy Donovan and a veteran center on the Bulls, Nikola Vucevic. If you also take a look at the Bulls' current roster, it does seem like the team will hopefully make the playoffs, led by their 2 all-stars Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, but following the season, when Marko will likely join the team, I do foresee 4th-year big man Lauri Markkanen leaving the team in restricted free agency, as I doubt Chicago has plans to keep him long-term. Right off the get-go, do I see Marko being a great replacement for Lauri, who is injury-prone throughout his career, a defensive liability, and has also shown inconsistency in the offensive end, and being portrayed as a soft big as well. Marko will already be placed in the right situation, either as a power forward next to Vucevic, or coming off the bench as a center, and with a mentor like Vucevic, I see a solid start from him. And if you can also take note that and take into account that the Bulls have no first-round picks next year due to the Vucevic trade, so he'll have plenty of room to develop. He already has a much better foundation than Lauri, in my opinion, as not only is he a stretch big, but he also embraces his size by playing a lot in the paint, and he's a lot more physical and has a higher basketball IQ. Finding a good playmaking point guard like signing Lonzo Ball or Spencer Dinwiddie in the offseason, which the Bulls have lacked, can also not only bolster Marko's game, but also make the team much better than it is right now, as even post-trade deadline they have struggled. And where I see his potential rising, however, is once Vucevic's contract ends in about 3 years, when he'll be about 33 to 34 years old, and it'll be Marko's turn to shine either at the 4 or the 5. And due to all these rare skills as a 7-footer he has with spacing the floor, passing, the athleticism, rim protection, and his ball handling ability, it is a bold take, but I do see Marko turning out as a future star player, and it does foreshadow that he could turn into a next Nikola Jokic, especially with AK as the vice president. We could also see the Bulls become a more talented team surrounded by big name free agents led by Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, and Vucevic for the time being. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I personally see the Bulls making the playoffs this year somehow, even though they're struggling right now, but they also have an extremely bright future with Marko coming in next year as a replacement for Lauri Markkanen and learning from Vucevic, who is a great veteran unicorn all-star himself, and perhaps becoming an all-star and superstar player similar to Nikola Jokic. It is a bit of a bold take that I'm making, but let us know in the comments if you see Marko turning out as a star player and what you think of the Bulls' future going forward. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed today's video, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I promise you will not regret it, and thank you guys for watching, and peace.